Hello and welcome to this Python tutorial about conditionals. So the whole point of everything we've been learning regarding Boolean statements up to this point and comparisons, equalities and inequalities and so on, has been preparing us for conditionals. And conditionals basically allow us to run different branches of the code depending on the conditions which we are passing in. So if we create a function called f and give it a argument called arg, and we write if the if keyword in Python expects a boolean or something that's going to evaluate to a boolean. So for example, if we check that arg is equal to bird, then we can print the early bird gets the worm. Great, so now if we run the function f with bird, it prints as expected, the early bird gets the worm. If we print it with another value than bird, let's say worm, then we don't get anything. Now, let's redefine our function f, but this time we are going to add something called else. Else the early worm gets eaten. So once again, if we run f with bird, the early bird gets the worm, and if we run it with anything else, the early worm gets eaten. Let's redefine our function for a third time, and instead of using else, we'll use something called elif, and elif is basically else if condensed into 4 letters. Elif, and this also expects a statement which is going to evaluate to a boolean. So elif arg equals worm, then the early worm gets eaten. So this time, running f with bird gives us the early bird gets the worm, with worm, the early worm gets eaten, and with something else, it's empty. Let's redefine our function once again and add an else statement where we are going to print the second mouse gets, whoops, if I can type, gets the cheese. Finally, f with bird, the early bird gets the worm, f with worm, the early worm gets eaten, and f with anything else will print the second mouse gets the cheese. So this is a pretty simple and straightforward introduction to conditional branching, but here you really have the essence of conditional branching, and we'll expand on this concept in future videos, and you will see that this really is the foundation of conditional branching. So that's it for now, and I'll see you in a future video. Thanks for your attention.